You will never find someone who is not a fan of Toy Story. It is that sheer quality which this franchise has maintained over the years to earn themselves more than $3.3 billion. But I think quality is more of a generic word. Aren't you interested in knowing the exact reasons for which the franchise was such a hit? Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we will see 20 reasons why the Toy Story franchise has generated $3.3 billion in revenue. So without any further delay, let's get started. It's actually really hard to pick out just 20 reasons and facts for the success of this franchise. But we have made a list, so let's have a look at it one by one. Number 1. The jokes. The Toy Story is all about amazing jokes. The amazing thing is that they placed the jokes such that the viewers could relate to it for decades. The adult theme of the Toy Story connects with kids later in life, having nostalgic effect. Number 2. The friendship between Woody and Buzz. Friendship is something that everyone finds attractive but mostly struggles with it. Woody and Buzz also struggled with their friendship throughout Toy Story 1. Most fans in their adult life can relate to the swooping of a new friend on a BFF. So the people who are fond of friendships absolutely loved the bond of Woody and Buzz. Number 3. Exposure to anxiety. Some directors don't like to show the concept of mental illness. Well, the Toy Story was not shy at all to depict this harsh side of life in the form of T-Rex. We see Rex freak out over things like not knowing about the birthday present threat and running into his own reflection, and we could all relate to it on some level. How unlucky of a generation we are to have such kind of insecurities. Number 4. The idea of growing up. Growing up is often an emotional force that is hard for everyone. Since fans were able to see this concept in nearly every Toy Story film, it has made an emotional attachment with the franchise as well. Just like the case of Andy's college and leaving the kids in Woody's case has struck all of us with the feeling that growing up is actually a trap of sadness. Number 5. The subtle technology growth. In order to fill the technology gap between our generation and the previous generation, the Toy Story franchise had to stay relevant with jokes and imagery. From Buzz being a futuristic spaceman to navigating via a modern-day computer, the franchise illustrates the growth of technology like no other. Number 6. The lost and forgotten theme. Through Toy Story 2, fans see characters like Jessie struggled with the feelings of existential crises. The feeling of being lost and being confused on why being left behind by her kids seem like the issues of our generation as well. Since the recent development in technology and infrastructure, people don't seem to have time for anything that is actually important. And this is excellently depicted by the films. Number 7. The timing. The films came out in relation to age. The Toy Story franchise hit the market at just the right time for the people who were born between 1981 and 1996 to be interested. When the original storyline came out in 1995, most children of the generation were under the age of 10. As the series continued, they turned the story a little mature as the kids grew older. When the third movie was released in 2010, most of those same kids were all grown up and either preparing for or nearing the end of their college careers, matching Andy's story perfectly. Number 8. Andy's storyline. If I put it in simple words, the core reason for the billions of dollars revenue generated by the films is because of Andy's story. The biggest scene, in fact, is when Andy gives up his precious toy collection to Bonnie. There are many things about this moment that got everyone choked up. But the best part of Andy's story is that most of the fans of the films have the same story of their lives as well. So, it is a lot relatable for them. These were some of the things about the films which made the fans fall in love with it. But what was happening behind the scenes? How was it made a success by the crew, and what were some hidden facts to its success? Well, let's have a look. Number 1. Tom Hanks could relate to Andy. Tom Hanks said one of the reasons he loved working for the film was because when he was a kid, he used to wonder if his toys came to life when he left the room. He said yes immediately when he was asked to voice cowboy toy Woody because he could see his childhood dreams were about to be released as a film. Number 2. Short hair of humans. The first Toy Story film was made in the very early days of computer animation, so the animators were not so skilled. And many of them did not know how to animate human hair. So they kept short hair for everyone because it was easy. Later, when technology evolved, things got easier and a bit more style was added. Number 3. Woody and Buzz are based on real toys. According to the film's director, John Lasseter, Woody and Buzz were based on his own childhood toys. A Casper doll with a pull string like Woody, and then later, a G.I. Joe doll, which were very popular and was the model for Buzz Lightyear. Everyone on the set has some sort of relatability with the film, which was one of the major reasons for the film's success. Number 4. It's the shortest Toy Story movie. At just 81 minutes long, Toy Story is not only the shortest Toy Story movie, it's also the shortest Pixar movie. This is probably because, as an early Pixar film, the animators were still figuring out the technology. So, short, concise, to the point and fabulous made the Toy Story franchise billions. Number 5. Andy is named after a real person. Andy is supposedly named after Andries Andy Van Damme, a professor of computer sciences who taught many of the animators on the film. He pioneered a lot of early animation techniques, so the creators of Toy Story have a lot to thank him for. Number 6. The film is perfect according to Rotten Tomatoes. Many people, including myself, trust the validity of Rotten Tomatoes. If a movie or a reason has a good rating on Rotten Tomatoes, then it's a must-watch. And guess what? Rotten Tomatoes gave Toy Story a 100% rating. Which means that almost all of its reviews are positive. Number 7. Andy's dad was too expensive. For revenues, there are always two things which are kept in mind. One is to increase the revenue and the other is to decrease the costs. Well, Toy Story did both. You might have felt that Andy's dad is never seen or mentioned in the films. Why is that? Is he dead? Well, actually Andy's dad isn't there because it was too expensive to animate another human being. They decided he wasn't needed for the story and left him out to save money. Number 8. The animators got to play around. Pixar animators are famous for the amount of fun they have when making their films. And of course, it makes sense. You will only produce the very best if you enjoy doing it. Just an example of how they enjoyed their work. Once, in order to figure out how the stiff plastic toy soldiers would move, the animators strapped boards to their feet and wandered around the office playing soldiers. Well, can you imagine how much they loved animating the film? Number 9. Woody wasn't meant to be nice. In earlier drafts, Woody was rude, sarcastic and mean. In this version, he was meant to be friends with Tinny, the toy from the short that Toy Story was based on, and at one point he even pushes Buzz out of a window. As you can tell from the final film, a lot changed and luckily Woody ended up being the lovable cowboy we all recognize. Do you think that if Woody had the previous roles, we all would be able to love the movie so much? Number 10. It was based on an animated short. The film is based on a 1988 short by Pixar called Tin Toy. It's only 5 minutes long and is about a toy named Tinny and a baby named Billy, so it doesn't bear much resemblance to the finished Toy Story, but it was the start of an idea that would eventually become the famous franchise. That short did well and won the Oscar for Best Animated Short Film that year. So if you see, the hustle for making Toy Story the best started a long time ago. Number 11. Barbie was originally a character in the first film. Barbie is one of the most famous parts of Toy Story 2, but originally there was a plan to have her as one of the main heroes in the first film too. She was going to be Woody's love interest, but was ultimately cut out. Luckily she appears later, because she's one of the best things about these movies. Maybe fans would have loved it more if they had not cut her out from the first film. But anyways, here is to her return. Cheers. Number 12. It could have been a musical. If you did not know, Disney and Pixar are both known for musicals. And there was an early plan to make Toy Story a musical too. However, the film's plot just didn't really work as a musical, and eventually it was scrapped. Kinda hard to imagine Woody and Buzz singing to each other, isn't it? And it certainly would not have been a success as much as the film is. Anyways, that was it for today folks. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to hit the like button. Do subscribe to the channel and press that bell icon so you don't miss out on our future updates. I will see you in the next video. Till then, take care. Goodbye.